Hi everyone. Today I have what I think is something very special for you all. A collaboration between myself and Tom, who, as you will hear, delivers the message to our future with a passion that I was personally moved by. I'm not going to run the intro as normal, I just want you to sit back and take in the message to our future, and then ask yourself the question: will we really need to apologize? And my profound thanks goes out to Tom, who did an absolutely brilliant job of voiceovering the script that I sent him. And now, please relax and simply listen.
A letter to our future. And we did nothing. It was in the winter of 2019-2020 when we first heard the echo of Big Pharma's footprints through the media, then on the streets, then kicking down the doors to test for a virus that has no basis in reality. We knew change was coming. We knew our freedoms were at risk of forever being taken. And we did nothing. We sat separated from our loved ones under house arrest, brought about by a digital dictatorship, and still, we did nothing. We watched as the world descended into planned chaos, from a fictitious virus sold as a threat to humanity. And still, we did nothing. Chained by the ideas, imprisoned by words, and separated by rumor. And still, we did nothing. You may not understand how fear drove away logic, how evil buried liberty, or how your forebears mistakenly took the words of these digital dictators and somehow took comfort from them, of a new world order that promised salvation. And still we did nothing. The world we knew, which you may never be allowed to recall or uncover, was once a place where blue skies were seen, where people of all races met in friendship and spoke of a better world, a world without these harbingers of death by needle, a world free from chemical castration of mind and body. And while all this was being taken, we did nothing. Sure, we complained. We spoke good, angry arguments. We sent each other messages and made our views known on censored social platforms. But in reality, we did nothing. We sat back because we had been convinced we had no power. We acquiesced because we were brainwashed into believing the majority would do nothing. And that led us down the path you now find yourselves at the end of, because we did nothing. As you look back on these times, if these times ever survive the erasure of your history, you may well ask why we did nothing. Why so many sat compliant while the world screamed for freedom and got nothing more than fake news from those who were entrusted to report rather than inform. You may well be in your rights to despise the lack of morality shown by those who are now your slave masters, convincing you that their draconian ways are good for you, but that they were only able to do so because we did nothing. If in this future that you, no, that we have assigned to you, we pray you will forgive the few who did try, who saw the evil rise, and yet made up such a small proportion of the human race, we could not awaken the masses in time to save you from the fate you now live. Travel was free. Gatherings were commonplace. Holidays to far-flung corners of the world were frequent. and a multicultural existence was the norm. Yes, sure, we had our problems and differences, but that's life. And the common man was always able to overcome anything imposed by the digital dictators through divisive media stories and calls for an imitation of patriotic euphemisms. But they cared nothing of patriotism save for the fact it enabled imaginary divisions. But we never expected the world's largest false flag operation to hit as hard and as fast as it did, and pull families apart, destroy individualism, and place control in the hands of those you see now wearing jackboots to ensure your complicity, while every aspect of our lives were collected, digitized, monitored, and assessed. We did nothing. The sad truth is, you may never have known a world without these things. You may never experience a walk in the park or on the beach without being monitored, checked, or stopped for not being immune from a natural seasonal event we used to call the common cold. We called it that because that's what it was, and something that all humans had natural immunity to. You'll have been told about things like climate change or a pandemic and how these evil digital dictators saved humanity from all this, but you must understand, it was they who created these stories. It was they who controlled the narrative by censoring anything and anything that questioned the lies, and sadly, they succeeded. Sadly, what you have been left with is the winner's version, created not only to control you, but to make them out to be your saviors. For those of you who are living on the fringes of this dystopian world, you are the echoes of freedom fighters who refused to comply to vaccinations, who refused to be part of the system of total control, who refused to see humanity as a global corporation and they just an employee. I hope in all sincerity you can forgive your forefathers. You can forgive the inaction of those who refused, denied, or feared the consequences of saying no more. I hope in all sincerity you find your way back to the Eden we once dreamt of. I could list for you the demons of our time, which in all probability will be sold as the saviors of yours. But what would be the point? They would, by the time you read this, if ever you will be replaced by others, and your indoctrination into the world you now frequent would have been efficient and all-encompassing. Beware of any so-called leader who mimics the words of their corporate masters. Because you deserve to know the truth. You deserve to have a better life than the one we gave you, because we did nothing. Do not judge us on the inaction of the many, but on the attempted actions of the few. And the odds of our success was always going to be slim, since the greatest virus, one in which you must all still be familiar with, was and is fear. And we thought the world would die from nuclear Armageddon. We were programmed by movie makers to think any survivors would turn upon brother and sisters for self-preservation. We were indoctrinated to believe that humanity was a selfish, destructive animal who had no care or love for fellow man, and you may have been told the same. But let me say none of that is true. Our capacity to love and comfort and cherish was unbounded. Our true nature was compassion and love for the earth and humanity. And the destruction you may have been told of was down to the very powerful few who are now telling you that we were the problem. One thing I can say without fear, you will not understand, is your masters are still demonic, are still psychopaths, control freaks, hell-bent on world domination through laws given to you for your own protection, as if you could not make rational decisions for yourselves. These are the destroyers of our world. These are the psychopaths of history, and these are without doubt your current saviors, as they would have you believe. Our time has sadly passed, but yours is yet to come. And if by some miracle you get to pull the plug on these digital dictators, if somehow it is possible to walk away and leave the digital prison created not for harmony or help, but for control and slavery, then do so. Remove the implants, unplug yourself from those systems, and walk into the wilderness where Mother Nature has always looked after her own. It is not a barren wasteland. It is where humanity thrives and will survive. I apologize for our generation's lack of resolve. And even as I sit writing this in the spring of 2020, I cannot understand why so many did nothing. This is just an echo of the past, but one I hope will resonate with you in the future. Now, do something.
That future hasn't come yet, ladies and gentlemen. And will we allow that future to manifest into reality? It truly is up to us. We are the controllers of our own destiny, not the real cartels that are pulling the shenanigan, criminal behavior that we're witnessing and experiencing right now on a global scale, which is a full-on frontal attack on humanity by these very criminals that we call leaders in the corporate society. What a great video. What a great reality. Are we going to change it or allow them to get their way?